Taco Bell puts essentially sand in, sodium bicarbonate.
Wait, bro. Hey.
No, so their beef filling. They're not allowed to call it beef filling. They have to call it taco filling because
it's not beef.
The beef has silicone in it.
This isn't a rumor, and it isn't one of those fake internet stories people repeat without checking. Silicon dioxide, the scientific name for sand, has been listed inside Taco Bell's The Seasoned Beef. So the question is no longer which fast food chain tastes the best. It's what else has been hiding in the food we've been buying for years. Because Taco Bell is not the only one. We looked into some of the biggest fast food names in America. The chains with billion-dollar marketing budgets, smiling commercials, family meals, and slogans designed to make you feel safe. And what we found was enough to make this list. For this video, we are counting down 12 fast food restaurants you may want to avoid, and 4 that actually earned a safer spot. Number 12. Jack in the Box. In 1993, Jack in the Box became part of one of the most infamous food safety disasters in American fast food history. An E. coli outbreak linked to hamburgers killed 4 children and sickened hundreds of people. The case changed the industry. It changed meat inspection standards. It changed public awareness. Jack in the Box survived. But survival is not the same as redemption. The original transcript argues that instead of building its entire identity around extreme food safety, Jack in the Box leaned into something else. Late-night cravings. The munchie meal. Available late at night. Marketed with a wink toward customers who may not be making the most careful decisions. And that is where the criticism gets sharp, because late-night shifts can be some of the hardest times to maintain quality. Fewer employees. More chaotic customers. Older oil. Longer holding times. Kitchens under pressure. The report also mentions a recent emergency shutdown involving raw sewage backing up into a Jack in the Box location, not decades ago. Recent. That is what makes this one so disturbing. A chain with that history should be obsessed with avoiding every possible food safety failure. Instead, the brand became known for serving the exact customer least likely to ask questions at the exact hour when operations may be most strained. They learned from history, just not the lesson customers needed. Number 11. Popeyes. Popeyes has one of the strongest identities in fast food. The red beans, the biscuits, the spicy chicken, the Louisiana branding. The whole thing feels like it came from a real kitchen, in a real place with real tradition behind it. That feeling is the brand. But Popeyes today is owned by Restaurant Brands International, the same parent company behind Burger King. That means the Louisiana image sits inside a global corporate machine, and that is where the story gets complicated. The chicken may taste bold, but according to the original transcript, the supply chain behind it looks a lot like other industrial fast food chicken systems. Pre-battered frozen chicken, heavy sodium, flavor enhancers, phosphates, MSG in the seasoning mix. The spice may be real, but it may also be covering up a lot. The report also points to inspection issues at some locations, including improper holding temperatures and pest-related problems. And when a chicken sandwich goes viral, like Popeyes did, the pressure on kitchens can become intense. More customers, longer lines, more volume, same equipment, same staff, same rush. That is when corners can get cut. Oil may not get changed fast enough. Chicken may sit longer than it should. Holding times can stretch. And when the brand is built on comfort, spice, and tradition, people may not notice what is happening behind the counter. That is the danger of a good story. Sometimes it tastes better than the truth. Number 10. Dairy Queen. You remember the Blizzard flip? The employee turns the cup upside down, holds it over the counter, and for 1 second, it feels like proof. Proof that it is thick. Proof that it is real. Proof that this is the same Dairy Queen people grew up with. But here is the part many customers do not realize. Dairy Queen's soft serve is not legally classified as ice cream under the federal standard. It is considered a frozen dairy dessert because it does not contain enough milk fat to meet that definition. That does not mean nobody likes it. It means the marketing feeling and the technical reality are not the same thing. The original report points to stabilizers, gums, artificial vanilla, and a product that feels like old-fashioned ice cream while being much more industrial than many people imagine. And then there is the equipment. Soft serve machines have to be cleaned properly, constantly, carefully, because the same machine that gives a child a cone can also become a problem if cleaning is not done right. Health inspections have flagged Dairy Queen locations for equipment cleaning issues before, according to the transcript. And the blizzards themselves, some of them can cross into full meal calorie territory before you even think of them as food. A large cookie dough or peanut butter style blizzard can carry more sugar than many people should have in an entire entire day. And that is what makes Dairy Queen so tricky. It does not feel like a meal. It feels like a childhood reward. But your body does not care what the logo made you remember. Number 9. Checkers and Rallies. Here is something many people still do not know. Checkers and Rallies are basically the same chain. 2 names, 1 company, different regions, same food, same model, and the model is simple. Drive-thru, cheap burgers, seasoned fries, fast service, bright branding, and not much room for the customer to think too hard. But the health inspection side is where the story gets uncomfortable. The original transcript mentions rodent droppings, roach activity, and repeat violations across some locations. Repeat violations are the important part because one violation can be a mistake. A repeat violation means someone already knew. An inspector came in, wrote it down, warned the location, then came back and found the same kind of problem again. That is not just a dirty floor. That is a system failing to correct itself. Checkers and Rallies has also been connected to private equity ownership, which matters because private equity often looks for ways to increase margins. That can mean pressure on labor, maintenance, equipment, and day-to-day operating costs. And in a restaurant, those are not abstract numbers. Those numbers become the fryer that does not get cleaned, the repair that waits too long, the staff that is stretched too thin, the kitchen that is asked to do too much with too little. The fries may taste the same, but the question is, what did it cost to make them that cheap? Number 8. Wendy's. Fresh, never frozen. That slogan is everywhere. It is one of the most successful fast food promises ever made because it makes Wendy's feel cleaner, sharper, and somehow more honest than the other burger chains. But what does it actually cover? Mostly the beef patties in North America. Not the entire menu, not the chicken, not the eggs, not every prep item, not every ingredient in the building. And yet Wendy's built a whole identity around the phrase. That does not mean the slogan is false. It means the slogan is narrower than the feeling it creates. The original transcript references a 2024 lawsuit involving a child who allegedly suffered serious injuries after eating at a Wendy's franchise, with the related inspection report listing numerous active violations: moldy food, dirty utensils, produce problems, sanitizer issues. That is the part that sticks. Because while customers saw fresh, never frozen outside, inspectors were finding problems inside. Wendy's has also been tied to lettuce and onion-related food safety concerns in recent years, according to the original transcript. And that is the larger point. Never frozen does not mean never contaminated. It does not mean the kitchen is clean. It does not mean the franchise is well managed. It does not mean the supply chain cannot fail. It only means what it says, and sometimes what it says is much smaller than what customers think they heard. Number 7. Arby's. Arby's has always been different. Not burgers, not tacos, not pizza, roast beef. That is the whole promise. We have the meats. But the more you look at processed fast food meat, the less simple that promise becomes. The original transcript discusses transglutaminase, often called meat glue, an enzyme used in some food processing to bind smaller pieces of meat into a larger uniform product. The concern is not just that the texture changes. The concern is surface area. When smaller pieces of meat are combined, more surfaces may have been exposed to bacteria before they are bonded together. That does not automatically mean the food is unsafe, but it does mean temperature control becomes even more important. And in fast food, temperature control depends on a lot of things going right. Every shift, every day, every location. Arby's is also part of Inspire Brands, connected to the same corporate world as Sonic. Same parent structure, different logo, similar financial pressure. Then there is the sodium. A roast beef sandwich can already be heavy. Add curly fries, sauce, and a drink, and suddenly the meal becomes a sodium load that many people, especially older adults with blood pressure or kidney concerns, should be very careful about. And the strangest part? It still looks like a sandwich. It does not look like a medical decision. It looks like lunch. That is what makes it dangerous. Number 6. KFC. Colonel Sanders cared about the chicken. Whatever you think of the brand today, the original image was built around obsession, timing, pressure cooking, seasoning, a recipe that felt personal. But once KFC became a global corporate chain, the story changed. The original transcript points out that KFC is owned by Yum Brands, the same company that owns Taco Bell. That matters because later on this list, Taco Bell becomes part of the same bigger picture. KFC's chicken has been connected to concerns about expired meat scandals in international supply chains, high sodium, reused oil, and industrial frying practices. And then there is the issue of advanced glycation end products, compounds that can form when protein and fat are cooked at high heat. Fried chicken, especially in heavily used oil, can be a major source. You will not see that on the menu board. You will not see it next to the bucket. You will not see it in the commercial with the smiling family. But it is part of the chemistry of deep-fried industrial food. KFC also has a menu that can push sodium levels very high, very quickly. A combo meal can become a full day's worth of sodium before you have even finished the biscuit. That is the gap between the brand and the reality. The brand says comfort. The numbers say caution. Number 5. Sonic Drive-In. Sonic does not feel scary at first. It feels like a parking lot at sunset. A cherry limeade in your hand. A car hop bringing food to your window. Maybe you remember the roller skates. Maybe you remember stopping there after school or during a road trip or on one of those hot nights when nobody wanted to cook. Sonic is part of Inspire Brands, the same corporate family connected to other major chains like Arby's and Buffalo Wild Wings. And once a beloved regional feeling becomes part of a huge restaurant empire, the priorities can change. The food still looks familiar. The cups still feel familiar. The cherry limeade still tastes like memory. But health inspection reports and food safety concerns tell a different story. The original report points to cases where cold items were held above safe temperatures, including shake mix sitting in the danger zone. And when dairy-based products are not kept cold enough, that is not just a technical issue. That is where bacteria can grow. Then there are the drinks. A cream slush can carry hundreds of calories and a shocking amount of sugar, while giving you almost no protein and no real nutritional value. It looks like a treat. It feels like a treat. But it can also be a sugar bomb in a cup. That is the strange thing about Sonic. The experience still feels innocent. The numbers do not. Number 4. Burger King. Burger King built its identity on flame, the Whopper, the grill, the smoke, the idea that it is somehow more real than the flat-top burger next door. But modern fast food is rarely as simple as the commercial. The original transcript describes a system where grill marks and smoke flavor can become part of a processed experience that looks more old-fashioned than it really is. And then there are the outbreaks. The transcript links Burger King to the same Taylor Farms onion contamination that also affected other major chains. Once one supplier has a problem, the issue can spread across multiple brands almost instantly. That is the hidden weakness of modern fast food. The restaurants look separate. The supply chains are not always separate. Burger King is owned by Restaurant Brands International, the same company behind Popeyes. And according to the transcript, RBI returned massive sums to shareholders while food safety and sourcing questions remained. That is the corporate tension. Money goes up, problems stay in the kitchen. Some Burger King locations have been cited for cold holding issues, rodent evidence, poor inspection scores, and missing food safety certifications according to the original report. The Whopper may still look familiar, but the operation behind it is not just a burger stand. It is part of a global machine, and machines are built to optimize. The question is, optimize for what? Number 3. Subway. Subway sold itself as the healthy choice. That was the whole point. Eat fresh, choose bread, choose vegetables, watch someone make it in front of you, feel better about your lunch. And for years that worked. Subway was next to gyms, in strip malls, near offices, inside gas stations, everywhere. But the healthy image has always been more complicated than the ads suggested. The original transcript brings up controversies around Subway's bread, including the use of azotocarbonamide in the past, a dough conditioner that became infamous because it is also used in manufacturing materials like yoga mats. Subway later said it removed it after public pressure, and that is the key phrase, after public pressure, not because customers were told clearly from the start. Then there was the tuna controversy, where testing and lawsuits raised questions about what was actually in Subway tuna, even though the legal cases did not definitively prove wrongdoing. And the chicken? The transcript points to lab analysis claiming Subway chicken products contained far less chicken DNA than customers would expect, with soy and fillers making up the rest. Even if someone disputes the exact numbers, the damage to the image is obvious. Subway was supposed to be simple: bread, meat, vegetables, sauce. But the deeper you look, the more processed it becomes. And in 2023, Subway was acquired by Rourke Capital, the same investment world connected to other chains on this list. The healthy choice became another asset. And once a sandwich becomes an asset, the question changes. It is no longer just, is this fresh? It becomes, how much margin can this sandwich produce? Number 2. McDonald's. McDonald's is not just a restaurant. It is infrastructure. That is what makes it different. Billions served, thousands of locations. A supply chain so large that when something goes wrong, it does not stay small for long. The original transcript talks about ammonium hydroxide treated beef trimmings, the process often associated with so-called pink slime. The idea was to treat lower grade beef material to reduce bacteria before incorporating it into ground beef products. McDonald's later moved away from that practice after public backlash. That tells tells you something important. Sometimes a process continues until people find out, not until regulators stop it, not until executives decide it feels wrong, until customers see it. McDonald's has also been connected to a 2024 E. coli outbreak linked to quarter pounders and slivered onions, according to the original transcript. And again, the issue was not just one restaurant, it was scale. When McDonald's has a supplier problem, it can become a multi-state problem. Then there are the ingredient lists. Fries with a long list of ingredients, shakes with dozens more, nuggets with anti-foaming agents. A menu that looks simple from the outside, but reads very differently when you look closely. And that is McDonald's greatest trick. It still feels like the simple hamburger place from childhood, but it is not simple anymore. It is a global food system wrapped in red and yellow. One burger will not tell the whole story, but 10 years of habits might. Number 1. Taco Bell. Silicon dioxide. That is the scientific name for sand. And according to the original transcript, silicon dioxide is a listed ingredient in Taco Bell's seasoned beef. Not a contaminant. Not something that slipped in by accident. A listed ingredient. That is why Taco Bell sits at number 1. Because once people hear that, they stop thinking about fast food the same way. Taco Bell's seasoned beef has been reported as being mostly beef, with the rest made up of ingredients like oats, maltodextrin, modified cornstarch, soy lecithin, and silicon dioxide. The company has defended its recipe in the past, and lawsuits over its beef claims were dismissed. But the public conversation did damage because customers thought they were buying one thing, and then learned there was more going on inside the filling than they imagined. Then there is the cheese sauce. When water, oil, and modified starch appear before cheddar cheese by weight, customers should understand what kind of product they are actually eating. It may taste like cheese sauce, but taste is not the same as composition. The original transcript also points to norovirus-related closures connected to employee hygiene failures at some locations. That is a different kind of problem, not supply chain, not industrial processing, human handling, the person making the food. And finally, Taco Bell is owned by Yum Brands, the same parent company as KFC. Two major chains, one corporate structure, different cravings, similar questions. Taco Bell has always had a nickname among critics, Toxic Hell. For years, it sounded like a joke. Now it sounds more like a warning. And after looking at all 12 chains, the pattern becomes hard to ignore. Different logos, same pressures, different mascots, same cost-cutting logic, different menus. Same question, how much can they put in front of you before you ask what is really in it? So I want to know, which fast food chain surprised you the most? And which one are you never eating at again? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you want more videos, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell, and watch this video next about fast food chains that don't exist anymore. Thanks for watching.